Hi, this is Debbie Georgatos, and Ladies Can We Talk? I want to talk with you today about Hillary Clinton and her famous emails. I know a lot of my listeners to the radio show, and a lot of the women in the audience as I speak to are not always into the details of politics and policy the way I am. That's in fact one of the reasons I do my radio show and provide video and written commentary on my website, so that these women, friends of mine, won't have to spend the time that I do to stay up on the critical issues facing our country. They can just come to Ladies Can We Talk website and learn quickly, right here. On the subject of Hillary Clinton's emails, don't think that all the talk about servers and emails makes this controversy too technical to understand. And don't you think the technical side of things makes the question of compliance or non-compliance with the law somehow complicated or mysterious? I am a lawyer by training, but I can assure you, those of you who aren't lawyers, this is actually common sense stuff. It's also extremely serious to our country and our national security. For anyone who has reverence for the idea that America must be a nation governed by laws and not by men or women, it should completely disqualify Hillary Clinton from any consideration as a presidential candidate. And the willingness of President Obama, Attorney General Loretta Lynch, and FBI Director James Comey to let Hillary escape accountability should make all Americans determined to use the 2016 elections to restore integrity to these positions. Here's how simple this really is. If you're the U.S. Secretary of State, you are America's #1 diplomat. Doing your job necessarily means that on practically a daily basis, you must constantly communicate and make use of sensitive information not publicly known. I'll spare you the detailed definitions of what kind of information is considered sensitive, but it's not really complicated. Hillary Clinton had it and used it and communicated it all the time. She couldn't possibly do her job without it. And if and when this critical information falls into the hands of those who would seek to harm America, we are all endangered. We are all less secure. So for decades, the laws of our nation have very understandably addressed the need to assure that our government officials treat such information with great care. It's a federal felony when they don't. Hillary Clinton knowingly and deliberately refused to use secure government email for almost all of her email work and instead installed her own private email system. Experts in computer hacking are, so far as I know, unanimous in concluding that Hillary's private system was not secure, that it was extremely vulnerable to the hacking of foreign governments. It places security of all Americans at risk. So the core of this entire scandal doesn't really depend on who said what to whom in a given email, though there may be other crimes implicated by that. All you need to know is this: just the existence and use of the private server by the U.S. Secretary of State can fairly be said to be a federal felony. It's not really arguable. And so, one common sense conclusion is Hillary Clinton is not a person who should be trusted with the presidency of the United States of America. This is a person who should be facing criminal indictment for her behavior, which brings us to my last point. Why hasn't she been indicted? Many of you may want to believe that maybe the case against her isn't that clear, and so the FBI and Attorney General are being cautious. Sadly, that's just not true. The case is that clear. The reason she's not being indicted is because she and President Obama and Loretta Lynch placed their left-wing political ideology ahead of truth and integrity. An indicted Hillary can't successfully run for president. She cannot. And so, she isn't being indicted. It's that simple. This, ladies and gentlemen, is a full abdication of the rule of law in favor of the rule of men and women. And it's an ongoing catastrophe for our nation. So what can we do? We must demand accountability and integrity from our government officials. And if they are not forthcoming, we must remove them from office. That's why the election in 2016 is so important. We, the people, must stop this desecration of our system of justice and the rule of law. This is Debbie Georgatos. I hope you'll come back to this website often to get more information on the issues we all need to care about if we're going to save this precious country.